Okay, good morning. Welcome to Good Morning Anambra. And that's Tuesday morning. How are you? Sure, you're doing well. Welcome. My name is Ijoma.
And my name is Obina. A very beautiful Tuesday morning. You can see the smile all over your face.
Yes.
You're feeling excited or something.
Nothing is exciting me. It's not that this month is my month. That's
okay.
all.
Oh, you said it yesterday?
Yes.
All right.
It's June. So June, it's an exciting month. So you just have to be excited.
hope there are a lot of things for us, like preparations or something like
Trust
that.
me now.
All right.
Okay, do stand by now as to bring you press review. Okay, welcome again. This morning, if possible, we're going to bring you stories coming from our website and then other stories from the front pages of the newspaper that we have available today. And the first story coming from our website said, former Ohaneze Ndibo VP Okeko Gene tax leaders on people-oriented governance to strengthen democracy.
All right, we also have in the ABS website, 100 days in office, Bishop Okoye commends Federal Polytechnic Oko Rector Awuzie on achievements.
Over 30 people will benefit from Answer of God Farmers Empowerment Foundation Intervention Program.
Former ABGA executives in Oka South 1 constituency holds inaugural meeting, back Soludo's second term bid.
Former ABGA, where are they now? Represent APC.
I wouldn't know. We work with whatever the headline gives us.
Okay, federal government partners private firm to boost milk production.
Benfica joins race to sign KRC Genk striker Tolu Aroko Dare.
You may need to take this other one.
Then we have Eid ul Adha. Federal government declares Monday, Friday public holidays. And then
I was asking you which one is Adha again, and I've not heard that one before.
Yeah, I know there's. I really do not have enough. Would like to explanation to that, but I know there's something like that. You know.
Eid Adha. Well, how do they call it?
Eid ul Adha.
It must be one of them. Okay. I will ask them whether this one is newly created and is being given 2 days, Friday and Monday. Okay, let's move on. Saudi Arabia suspends issuance of a black work visa quota to Nigerians and others.
So you can track ABS on any free-to-air with these parameters, the satellite name and other, and also on our social media handles. All right, you can follow us on YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, and any of our social media handles.
They're everywhere. We are everywhere. Okay. Yeah, let's look at this number one story from Ohaneze Ndibo, VP Okeko Gene. Oh, this former, all the formers here. You know, Okeko Gene tax leaders on people-oriented governance to strengthen democracy. Yes. So if you're a governor and then you are, I ask what's your template for governance in the state where you are? What will you be bringing to the table?
No, it depends on what the state actually does need now. You know, yeah. So if your state, but if you're looking at the situation in the country at the moment, almost the whole state is having issues with insecurity. So I believe it's one of the first things a governor should be looking at. Then also food security too. People are hungry, foods are no longer affordable. I remember the other day we were talking about fish farming. We're still asking the question, if the government is doing a lot in fish farming, why are we still buying fish?
Where are the fishes?
So where are the fishes and all that? We were talking about crayfish the other day, and we were talking about how expensive it is and all that.
Yes,
so
I said I bought crayfish for 16,000 naira, one custard pen.
So that's just it. You focus on security, focus on food security, and you also focus on infrastructure and other things that would actually create jobs. And if you look at Anambra, these are some of the things the government is doing, and they may not have achieved probably a perfect result, but you can see the honest efforts by the government to, get these things done.
Very important. Okay. Thank you. As you continue to dwell on people-oriented programs, because you know why I asked this question? I was watching this big boys that are our leaders, you know, dancing, singing and dancing for the construction of the coastal ways and a whole lot of things. And a lot of us, we are asking, we are hungry. And somebody is singing, not just somebody, a Senate president is singing that since President Tinubu came into power, that Nigeria is shining, everything is working, there's no hunger, there's no problem, no insecurity. How can an adult be playing like a kid? Okay, so people are saying we are hungry. Is this a priority? Is this construction a priority? Will it put food on our table? Will it generate food, gari, apple, whatever? Men, do the first thing first.
You know,
tackle hunger.
Yeah, amidst the fact that
tackle insecurity.
There are lots of questions about the coastal road, but if you know, in the looking at it wholesomely, like the whole of it, it was going to be a very good project in terms of reducing distance all the way from the southwestern part of the country to the we like refer to it as the southern part of the country and all that. So it would have been something that would be beneficial.
Is it a priority now? That's what we are asking.
It's infrastructure is a priority for Nigeria.
Oh, now we say now, considering insecurity, considering hunger, and a whole lot of issues.
These are some of the issues that, you know, I just talked about. That it's all over the country. It's a major thing: food security, hunger, and all that. So
then tackle it head on.
Yeah.
Declare state of emergency.
The government have always been saying things. They've always been saying things. The state government been saying things. The federal government been saying things and all that.
Okay, let's keep saying things now. You know. Maybe. Let's keep saying things. Okay, let's get to the papers, Sabina.
All right, going to the papers this morning. We'll be looking at the Daily Sun. And on the Daily Sun, we have Wike opens up on Tinubu Fubara. And a kicker to that says, I'm asset to president in 2027. Admits he enjoys stepping on toes. All right. Still on the Daily Sun, we have Nigeria has no business being among hungriest nations, coming from the man Obi. Then we also have judiciary workers strike paralyzes court activities nationwide. Judges, lawyers, litigants locked out. Still on the Daily Sun, we have my support for Tinubu not self-serving, coming from Kalu. Reps tackle WAEC officials over midnight exams. Western Sahara, UK considers Morocco's autonomy proposal. Northerners who had opportunity failed to turn region to paradise. This is coming from Shehu Sani. Yeah, Shehu Sani. Then moving to the Daily Times. On the Daily Times, we have Vice President Shetima pushes cocoa processing, $25 billion gas pipeline economic drive, and that's on page 2 of the Daily Times newspaper. So on Daily Times, we'll have World Health Organization, T.Y. Danjuma signs $2.26 million agreement to advance health in Nigeria. We also have Nigeria's security and political economy, and that's on page 16 of the Daily Times. Put Nigeria's democracy on recovery path. ADC National Chair tells Tinubu. Police arrest 37-year-old Bauchi man over alleged sexual harassment of stepdaughter. Then we have Tinubu's renewed hope agenda has recorded growth in nation's GDP, says Kalu. I am an asset to Tinubu's victory. Will lead APC campaign in Rivers, coming from the man Nyesom Wike. Mokwa. Flood disaster survivors lament delays in emergency relief. Mokwa, that's in Niger State. Very unfortunate.
Okay, let's look at the Punch newspaper. The headline there says 2027 weekends, the Tinubu endorsement sparks opposition firestorm. With the writer there, PDP bigwigs, opposition parties split over minister stance. But their judge, Amechi Khan, others vow to fight weekend. Okay, federal government estimates 880 billion naira yearly for road maintenance. IATA decries high airlines operating costs in Nigeria and others. And then we need a story here, okay? President moves to settle 2 trillion naira power debt. Rescue WAEC chiefs over exam disruptions. Judiciary workers strike. Grounds court. And down here, Boko Haram feared by political elites to destabilize Tinubu Kano, like Boko Haram started today. 3 Nigerians back 15 years jail for fraud in India. Lagos APC LP in turmoil as PDP eyes local government poll upset.
Then moving to the Daily Independent, we have no one can expel me from PDP. Wike there's party leaders, a strong statement from the man. A kicker to that, defense role in Tinubu's administration says he doesn't have rift with Fubara and enjoys stepping on toes of big people. Exit from TSA enabled us to do a lot in the FCT, and that will be 29 of the Daily Independent. And still on the Daily Independent, we'll have Tinubu attracted $50 billion from trips abroad, according to the presidency. Again, headsmen kill 49 persons in Benue communities.
Okay.
Nigeria seeks $25 billion investment for undersea gas pipeline to Europe, and that's on page 7 of the Daily Independent. Federal government needs 880 billion naira annually for road maintenance. This is coming from the minister. We're talking about the Minister of Works. We wouldn't know. It's right there on page 7 of the Daily Independent. Amnesty International urges probe of military airstrike that killed 20 vigilantes in Zamfara State. All right. And that's on page 6 of the Daily Independent. Atiku Amechi El-Rufai united in desperation for self-serving power. We also have federal government $21.5 billion foreign loan plan test Nigeria's debt limit. Tinubu vows to revive cocoa industry in Nigeria. And that's on page 6 of the Daily Independent.
Go on.
And then on The Guardian, we have publish or perish. 97% of public universities default in online visibility, transparency, order. That's on page 6 of the Guardian newspaper. PDP chides AGF as Osun government sues federal government for stopping council allocations. All right, 16 years after meltdown, Nigeria forex market cap surges by 347.5%, and that's on the business column of the Guardian newspaper. 2027, PDP's internal crisis worsen as Wike judge trade words. All right, we also have Natasha's denial of sexual harassment allegation against me, and afterthought, says Omokri, over 950 southeast locations occupied by bandits, headsmen, and kidnappers, and that's on page 29 of the Guardian newspaper.
Okay, our last paper this morning is the Nigerian Tribune. And on the name, on top of the name plate, we have suspected headers killed 43 in Benue communities. And then groundness, I drive joy in stepping on toes of powerful people. But the banner headline here says, weaponization of privacy, APC tackles Atiku Amechi El-Rufai. With some writers there, says trial united by desperation and silence on 8 years of Buhari administration. Other stories, NAF extra killed 20 terrorists in Zamfara. Terrorists, where they told us they are vigilantes. Okay, court shot lawyers, litigants stranded as judiciary workers begin strike. North must support Southwest in 2027 to complete 8 years in power. Sheikh Hussaini. Assault on vice principal. Ondo police arrest parents for others. Okay. And then by this side, aggrieved lawmakers ask WAEC registrar to resign over conduct of midnight exams. Exam body blames outsourced printers for leaked English paper. It says papers were distributed by road nationwide. Was that why it was conducted in the night? You talk to us as if you're talking to fools. Oh, well, that's all we have for you now. Let's look at the stories. Like, I was watching Wiki yesterday, and that guy was just full of, okay, I wouldn't tell you what he's full of. But, the way, the level of impunity that he was exhibiting yesterday while he was talking. I said, what's going on? It's the
level of confidence he's had recently. He's had that over the years, but recently the level is one that is really very questionable, where he gets the I wouldn't want to use the temerity or the impetus because, of course, we know he seemingly has the backing of the federal government and all that. So, but it's happening. The most important thing is the federal government aware, the federal government is aware, is the presidency aware, the president is aware, and it's on them to know what to do about that.
Do about
when
what
you
is
have,
if
when
somebody
you,
is working for you and hyping
yeah,
you,
when you
so
have
what will you do
somebody
about
whose loquacity has gotten to that point where he's no longer afraid of saying certain things. He threatens people anyhow on air. He says things without putting certain thought process to it.
Well, I was reading one guy's editorial yesterday, and the guy was saying that the federal government or the presidency might think that Wike is is dancing their beats, but very soon they will find out that this is a kind of dog that can also bite the owner. That there's possibility that whatever he's doing today, he will still do it against his masters, the people that he's serving today. But let's look at one or two things that he said yesterday. Of course, one of them is what has made all the tabloids, the front page of all the tabloids today, that he loves stepping on toes of big wigs, okay? But then he was asked a question about what's going on in Rivers State concerning the state of emergency. He said that he never expected that and he never liked that. But since he has come from the presidency, there's nothing he could do about it. He was also asked about his relationship with Fubara, and he said, well, that the only thing that he remembers and cries is how he picked him up, fed him, and did everything, even made him a governor, and then he now opened space for his enemies to attack him. That's the only thing that he regrets about the relationship. But otherwise, that he has nothing to do with him, that they're okay, that that's no problem. And then he was asked the question, because we heard that, there was a time we heard that Fubara went to visit him with some guys that led him. He said that nothing like that has happened, that he has never met him since the inception of that thing. But let me tell you something about state of emergency in Rivers State. That what some of us are suspecting that really happened. Okay, it could be a clip. It could be a clip on the wings of Wike, because Wike is controlling what they call Rivers State. Okay, he's in charge of Rivers politics, at least before that the state of emergency. And now that it has happened like this, there's possibility of the president trying to tell him that you're not totally in charge. Okay? This game of politics. Now, I can now clip your wing here, put you here, and then take over Rivers State by negotiating with the next person that's going to take power, not just the administration that is there now. Okay? Because it does appear that Wike wants to control Rivers State. In such a case, everybody that comes in will be loyal to him. Okay? So that loyalty is what perhaps this I don't know what to call it, what I want to call it.
So whatever, it's the politics that is being played. A lot of negotiations are actually going on behind the scene. We're talking about coalitions. Trying to still remain politically, not just politically relevant, but still holding on to political power. The president is somebody that pays so much attention to holding down power. We could testify with what he did in Lagos State since he left the governor. Since he stopped being governor of the state, the control he still has on that state is so evident.
And that's what Wike wants to do in Rivers State.
It's going to be difficult. Rivers State, in fact, most of the southern states, you can't do what you did in Lagos, in the southern part of the country.
Lagos is supposed to be more difficult because it's...
No, Lagos is a different ball game entirely. Okay. I do not think anybody can do that in the southern part of the country.
Okay. Let's also look at his stance on the PDP crisis. You heard what he said in the paper, that nobody born of a woman can expect him from PDP.
Yeah, it's true. It's true.
Okay.
It's the power.
Because that's what most of us
the power he has. Let me not say the power, but influence he has. And looking at the way things are, most of the people in the PDP, especially the governors and the senators and the House of Rep members, still want to retain their positions. So most of them will tread really very carefully. They wouldn't want to have issues with him, coupled with the fact that yes, Wike He's very close with seemingly, I wouldn't know how close, but he's seemingly very close with the president. So anything seemingly the president listens to him. So if Wike tells the president that, oh, see, this guy is not really, he's not acting progressively, something is like, so most of them are treading carefully and not wanting to join issues with him or something. So they will be careful with what happens in the PDP. After all,
it is so. Haven't you heard of the Southeast governors threatening to decamp?
Yeah, there've been talks about that. But let's see what happens. Let's see
well,
what happens.
we before now, like I said, we have been asking how come PDP will not expel this guy. But he tried to point out all those things yesterday, though he was kind of being careful not to point out the reason why they shouldn't expel him. Of course, he mentioned some of them by saying that that he was instrumental to this person being there, that being there, and that being there, this and that, that kind of a thing. But he was asked the question, are you not seeing yourself like a mole in that party? Because you are working for APC. You are destabilizing your party. So how can you miss the two? Why don't you just move straight to APC and then attack PDP from outside?
Something Yesowike is doing is buying time. When you look at his political trajectory, he's somebody who's been able to do that over the years. He knows when to lie low. He knows when to flow with the situation and all that. So that's just his person. So whatever he's doing, he has to do it. It's unfortunate. It's not about the political party. After all, the likes of Atiku Abubakar did that. The likes of Bukola Saraki did that at a point. Many of them within the party did that. So they cannot, come out to, point fingers at him.
Or working for another party and destabilizing your own party.
Yeah, most of them did that. So that's the point. Yes, Wike at the moment is just buying time for himself. Anything can happen tomorrow. And I understand as it stands, the presidency also understands this. They know that this guy is a ticking bomb, but at the moment, they have to make do with him. They have to work with him.
And then he was asked whether he wants to contest for the presidency 2027 against his master.
He wouldn't want to do that. He wouldn't want to do that. This is not. It's not the best time for him to do that. Probably after 2027 he may have, but I do not think he would want to do that at the moment. Or this still we're talking about 2027. This 2025. I know this is the best time to start planning, to plan all the way, but this should not be the best time for him to say that, because he knows the president is not one who forgives. The president has shown an example, the likes of Fubara.
So do you now see him working for a handover, maybe after 2027, after the next 4 years? Are you?
What I'm certain that Nyesom Wike will do is to lie low at the moment. He will do that. He's going to know when it is right or best to make a move.
Wike was frantically fighting for Anyanwu to retain the position of the secretary of PDP in that party. And then yesterday, as I was watching that program, I really saw why. Because he said that no, INEC will not recognize any letter that was not endorsed by the secretary and the chairman of the party. Okay. So now that the Southeast governor said that they want Okoye to be the secretary, and then he wants Anyanwu, he's been going all out to make sure that it's Anyanwu, because Anyanwu seems to be his guy.
Person.
Okay. So perhaps what he's looking at, if Okoye has to come there, and then they will leverage on that and sign the letter of his suspension with the chairman. Okay, now, but since he has Anyanwu, even if you take the chairman's letter, signature, cannot sack him, except the secretary endorses. Yeah. So I now see the kind of politics that he's playing.
The secretary is not just in political parties, but in the proper business or whatever. Yes. The secretary is a very integral part of whatever structure you have. All right? So now, whatever is happening, like I said, Nyesom Wike, whatever he's doing at the moment is to buy time. He knows how important it is to buy time and also to remain politically relevant. Let's see what happens on the long run. Are we going to see the APC capitalizing on this to actually lodge him out of the party? Because, of course, if he loses his stronghold on the PDP, he may politically, at the moment for a while, become politically irrelevant and all that. So let's see what happens on the long run.
Okay. Okay, let's still talk a little politics with this story from Nigerian Tribune. Weaponization of poverty. APC tackles Atiku, Amechi, and El-Rufai. Of course, I was able to privy to what Amechi said during his 60th birthday message. And then Atiku and El-Rufai now talking after the what do you call it? What did they do? Commissioning, okay. Commissioning
after
the commissioning of the coastal road, commission of the part that's been. Why wouldn't you even finish that job before you commission it? Okay, let's not go there. let's just talk about this. And then they are now the presidency is attacking them back. Okay, it's just what we are saying. What would be your priority as a president now? Is it building roads? And that's what this guy is saying. People are dying of hunger. Amechi said that he too is hungry. Okay, of course, his brother answered him yesterday that he's hungry of power.
Like I said earlier, infrastructure is, Nigeria actually needs infrastructure at the moment. The problem with the coastal road, that's the one that was planned to be built from Lagos to the southern part of the country, is the fact surrounding the coastal road. The ambiguities, the uncertainties, how they are not being open about how the roads. A few days ago, the works minister couldn't give us a proper account. He couldn't tell us how many how much was spent per kilometer. You know, the vagueness surrounding it and all that. So that's the major issue with that. But if the question is if we need that road, is that infrastructure really very important for the Nigerian economy? Nigeria actually does need it.
Okay, aggrieved lawmakers asked WAEC registrar to resign over conduct of midnight exams. Who resigns over what? Who INEC chairman refused to resign? JAM
we talked about that. You know, before we went on, I remember we talked about that briefly.
Yes.
And the point is, like, you know, evidently currently the rascality. Yeah, we used to have rascality, but at least a mitigated one in the government parastatals in the government business. But the height has actually increased at the moment. People no longer care. People do things anyhow. If not for the intervention of a certain person, the JAMB issue would have been swept under the carpet and all that. But people had to speak up, and something was done about that. So.
If you're not capable to occupy a position, why don't you just resign? We've been writing WAEC and JAMS all these years, over 50 years, okay? And now, for the first time, we are seeing all these glitches from the JAM and then backwardness from the WAEC. How can children be writing exams in dark where there is no light? Do you even write exams in the night? You say you're preventing malpractice. So how can you now stop malpractice in the night? How do you even know who is writing again? Once he gets that, Obina gets in and the brother gets out, he starts writing for him because he can't identify anybody again. What kind of recklessness is that? Okay? I think we need to sit up. You don't just struggle for position, and when you get the position, you don't know what to do with the position. I want to be here, I want to be there, I want to be this, I want to be that. They give you the position, you are messing it up.
It's a Nigerian thing, you know.
No, it shouldn't be a Nigerian thing. We should get it right.
We hustle for positions. We do a lot in terms of campaign. We do a lot in terms of backbiting, trying to make sure that whoever is in power,
kill people.
Yes, is frustrated and all that. Then when we get to power, it's just jamboree. Things get worse and all that. So. But we have to keep talking.
That's exactly what we're doing, and that's what we're paid to do. Let's also look at the strike of the judicial workers. Of course, we have seen day 2. Day 1 yesterday, everywhere shut down. The lawyers and the judges locked out, and then no work, no pay. Okay, no pay, no work, whatever they were agitating for. But look at the situation now. Yesterday we saw that some of them are bolting out of that strike. We heard about the Supreme Court, the High Court judges, and then which other one? NJC or whatever.
That's the union of...
yes. Yeah. So who are those that are shutting down the courts if these ones are not working with them, are not protesting with them?
You know, when it comes to the justice system, we have of course, we have the judges, we have the legal practitioners. That's you're talking about the judges,
and the juries.
yeah, the juries and all that, the lawyers and all that. They also have those who are not the legal practitioners, talking about the court clerk, and a whole lot of them working there. So, but the problem is this: the government is not realizing that it is a very important aspect of the economy, because there's something the man P2B said. He said a very important aspect of business in Nigeria is the fact that we do not have the rule of law. When you have a business dispute with someone in Nigeria and you're telling the person, let's go to court, the person is not afraid. Why is the person not afraid? Because he or she knows that one way or another, he or she can find his way. Like, there's something that can be done to the courts or the court processes to probably get a certain judgment from it. But it shouldn't be so. When you actually tell somebody, let's go to court to sort this out, the person should really, really be very much afraid. And why is this happening? Because they have their way around it. Most of the workers in the court are not being paid. And once they have the opportunity, not just workers, but also judges too. We saw what happened in the, the tribunal after the elections in 2023. There were lots of talks about judges collecting bribe after researches and all that, which is really very painful. So we must strive. If the Nigerian government must strive to make sure that judiciary workers earn well. It is really very important. Give them also good working environment and all that. If there are a lot of benefits that should be given to them, in terms of insurance and all that, they should also be given to. You do not expect so much money. If you're looking at so much money to be made from that aspect of the economy, it means you're going to truncate a lot of you're going to encourage a lot of anomalies, a lot of justice. People will not get a lot of justice because, of course, a lot of justice will be averted. Because, of course, when you give me something, I won't say the truth. I have to say things that will actually favor whoever, put some money in my pocket.
All these things are going to be possible when you have made the condition of average Nigerian citizen conducive. Okay, not when you can't pay your house rent because the landlord has taken it from 200 to 800. Not when you can't buy food to eat. Not when you can't pay your school fees. Okay, the university is skyrocketing the school fees here and there, and a whole lot of things. There are a whole lot of pressures on these workers. That's why they're saying, why are all these things are increasing? But my salary is not increasing. It's not just it's everybody. It's not just the judicial workers. What you have been earning for the past 10 years is what you are still earning, and every cost of living has tripled. I don't even know the German.
Sometimes when you talk about this aspect, some the leaders will feel like, oh, these guys may not be adding too much to the economy. Because if you want to, like somebody who is business inclined, say, for me to
it's you that is looting the economy that is adding.
So that's a problem. So if we can, tackle this issue about, it will go a long way.
Okay, let's digress a bit and go to the north and find out what Shehu is saying. Shehu said, Northerners who had opportunities failed to turn region to paradise.
It's really true. These guys have been in power over the years, for the past 60 years or more. These guys have been in power from Tafawa Balewa to many of them. They've been, Musa Yar'Adua, and many of them, they've been in power for a long time, and nothing seems to be working up north there. So it's something has to be done about that development.
Oh, really? It's not just the north. I think it's everybody. It's everybody. That's why I like what's going on in Anambra State.
Yeah, the focus is on the north at the moment, from what Shehu Sani said.
From what Shehu Sani said, because we have had that kind of question before. In the east,
60% of, or let me say over 50% of the presidents we've had in this country are actually from the north. We've
also asked that question when we had a whole lot of in the government of Obasanjo and Goodluck Jonathan, and the people from this region were asking them, what were you able to do? What did you attract being in the government? Now you are crying of marginalization. When you had opportunity to be there, what were you able to do? Okay, these and a whole lot of things. When you go there, you want to impress people, and then you won't be able to. Now you are trying to see who to blame that your place is not developed or you are being marginalized. When you were there, like what happened during the when we had who is this guy? No, this guy, the Deputy Senate President. Okay. Okay, let's not go there today. All right, I think we have given this enough bites. We'll have to draw the curtain today on press review. You do well to join us tomorrow for our fresh package. Well, you do stand by now as we look at the topic of discussion today, which is what?
We'll be discussing about floods in Nigeria, how best to arrest the situation. States like Anambra. Very recently, we just had reports about the development in Mokwa in Niger State. So these are some of the things we'll be sharing with you in the discussion segment of the Good Morning Anambra. Stay tuned to ABS TV.
Okay.